turn the microphones up
We
here so
got levels.
we can hear ourselves. So we should be streaming.
All right.
So we say we just
that's got a really the way you got the camera. It's got a really good
wide
view.
view,
Yeah,
right?
it really gets everything.
Oh, the one thing I hadn't shown you yet. Well, pre-show, but I hadn't shown you that.
MJ?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Where was this one through?
That was online, but yeah, that was MJ hat I picked up.
That's my most prized possession. I have a like an actual poster of MJ posting up Kobe, and MJ signed it.
That's
awesome. I got my ex Carrie got it for me when we worked at Tiffany's in Morris Plains on 202. You know, Tony, whatever his name is, owned it, so he had all this memorabilia. When they were going to remodel the whole building, they were offering things to their staff first.
Oh wow!
She got it for free.
Wow.
So sadly, when we flooded in Lake Hiawatha, I didn't have it hung up at the time, so it ruined a little bit of the bottom, but not the picture.
Yeah.
Right. So
not the auto.
No. So the picture of him posting up Kobe, the autographs basically right across their chest or across his chest. It's not even their feet. It's the framing around the photo.
Yeah.
That part got a little messed up. So
If you ever had to, you could give it.
Well, that's what I ended up doing. I ended up having it cut so that it looked clean and neat, and then put it in the frame. And that thing hasn't moved other than when I moved I put it back on. That thing has not moved, and every time I walk by it, I'm just like,
yeah,
I love that poster.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
That's my long-term game plan. Is whenever the time comes that I take over the downstairs, that's becoming the man cave.
That's the centerpiece. Well, speaking of man cave, speaking of centerpieces to teams, why don't we kick this thing off? Play a little music. It's good to be back, Back with Dave.
Back and ready to roll.
Back here, hanging out.
I am glad.
Talking some draft.
We were going to try last night, but we wouldn't have physically been together, and we have way more fun when we're together. Shout out to Doobie, Marissa in our chat saying, go Flyers, go Sixers. I just said
How does she feel about the Eagles draft? That's what I want to know. How does she feel about the Eagles draft? Does she think that it's bye-bye AJ Brown, and is he going to New England? Because it's pretty much a foregoing conclusion. Yeah, he's out in Philly.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a done deal. It just hasn't I don't know if I ever have heard the trade's gonna happen, but after June 1st, most of the times the teams agree to the trade's announced, but then it's just won't post to the books until June.
Yeah.
The fact that they're no, we're literally not going to officially announce the trade till after June 1st is kind of interesting to me. If they keep him with Devontae Smith and Makai Lemon, is that his first name? Lemon's the last name.
Makai.
Makai, I think it's Makai. The kid is the perfect build for a slot wide receiver. So if you're that's pretty dangerous, but we all know how I feel about Jalen Hurts, and that's for after, when we get to
I think that's
summer,
how AJ Brown feels about Jalen Hurts, and I think that's why he wants out. But overall, draft wise, she happy. The Eagles, to be honest, Howie Roseman's one of the best GMs in the game, and they make a lot of the right moves. So they'll probably trade AJ Brown and get gold back for him. And
supposedly it's a first-round pick, which I wouldn't give up a first-round pick for AJ Brown. I'd give you a second, right? I'm not
because
saying
he to me is falling into that. A guy who is he worth the baggage he's bringing? Right now, Stephon Diggs to me, most teams are looking at him they don't want to touch him. It's not worth the baggage to pick him up. He's a good receiver, sure, but unless it's on a 1-year deal, you don't want him. And I kind of feel like AJ Brown is getting that way a little bit, where I don't think he's going to be long-lived in New England.
No,
even if he goes there,
1, maybe 2 years, yeah.
At max 3, but I don't think I think Drake May's making it further than he is with the New England Patriots.
I think that's a very fair
You know
statement.
what I mean? So it's one of those things where I look at it and I'm I don't think I'd give up a first-round pick for that. I 100% agree with what you're saying, because if you're only going to get 2 or 3 really good years out of a guy, and that's at max, is it worth giving up a first round pick where you have like more control? You have probably a better contract.
Definitely
like,
a better contract.
I
even
would
that fifth-year
rather,
option,
like, to me, the first round pick where to somebody like Cincinnati who traded for Dexter Lawrence before the draft. They're looking at it in the first round, the amount of money they were going to spend on a first round pick at 10.
At 10, yeah.
And what they had to do with their defense and where they were cap-wise, it made sense to them to make that move. And they weren't going to get somebody as good at that position, even though they have to pay a little bit more for him than they would for that 10th overall pick. It still wasn't worth it. Value-wise, it was still more worth it for them to get Dexter Lawrence. And that's where, to me, I just don't know if the value's there for A.J. Brown to bring back, like, long-term. Like, I feel like you're going to get more out of a 28, 29-year-old Dexter Lawrence. You could get 4 or 5 years out of him.
I mean, if he stays healthy, you got to assume you're getting at least 3 good years out of him.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, and that's
3
fair.
really good years, because, I mean, we're 2 years removed from him being the 7th best, rated defensive player in the league.
Yeah, at all positions, not like interior, like 7th best across defense. Yeah. I think I look at it like this, right? I think from New England's perspective, right, the general manager, Vrabel, Kraft, like, I think they're like, we just made the Super Bowl, and one of the things that killed us was offensively we were very one-dimensional, right? A.J. Brown gives us the opportunity to expand beyond that. But in my opinion, New England made the Super Bowl because they took advantage of a very watered-down AFC playoff picture.
Thank you.
Right? Like,
it was the easiest path that they're ever going to have.
Like, A.J. Brown is not... If Mahomes is healthy and Kansas City's in there, right?
And Burrow's healthy.
Burrow's healthy, and
Lamar is
like,
there. Like,
that's what I mean.
It's just too much.
You're not getting through that gauntlet just because you have basically the same team. You added a couple pieces and you trade a first round pick for it. Like, to me, when you trade your first round pick, like, you believe that one piece is your missing piece to get over that hump, right? Like, that's how you look at it. Like, that, I don't think that's the case with New England. I think when the juggernauts get back, which we expect them to get back this year, you're not getting through them. You're not there yet. And A.J. Brown is not going to be that guy that gets you through that gauntlet. And I think they think he can. And that, to me, is where the disconnect is on how I look at the idea of trading a first round.
I think you're going to agree with this, but a hot take, and we don't have to stay on it because I don't want to get us off the top. We're doing good.
We have a strategy here.
We got a strategy here. We're doing good. But I'm calling it now. Put the tinfoil hat, whatever. I think this is the downfall of Vrabel. I think Vrabel's hit his peak. I think we've gotten peak Vrabel, and I think we're on the backside
with everything
of
going on
here.
with him. Yeah,
it's a lot.
There's
between
lot.
The family stuff, the team stuff, everything going on. How he pulls it together this year, plus with A.J. Brown and the story of A.J. Brown and how that broke. That's tied into this too, and how much of that is going to be looked at it going, oh, well, this story broke during, because of this scandal and blah, blah. Like, I just wonder how much all of that ties together. I just wonder how much it's actually worth it in the end to bring this guy in. But I think it's something they're committed to doing at this point. I think it's something that's absolutely going to get done and be done. But I think this could be, I think this was Vrabel's peak in New England. I'll say that. I think, not that he can't go elsewhere and revive and do whatever. I think this year, getting to the Super Bowl, that's as high as he's getting. He's hit the mountaintop, and he may be trying to reach back there by getting in A.J. Brown or whatever. But like we just talked about, the road was never going to be easier. He was never. I mean, Bo Nix didn't even play.
Yeah, like you didn't even have to go against Bo Nix.
You didn't even have to go against people that were actual football players.
If you sat here and you ranked AFC quarterbacks, I don't think you're putting Bo Nix in your top 5, right?
No, and that's what I mean. It just all around we can agree, and I'm glad we agree on this because I don't even want to fight you on it, but it's.
Yeah, and look, I also think to your point, and I agree, because this is a rabbit hole that we could really go down, and
we don't want.
Now that we're both married men, right? Like, I'm sure we got some opinions, right? Like, but that's a rabbit hole, and we're not TMZ, right? Like, we're not we're not worried about the outside of the sport drama. But very simply put, the guy couldn't be in the war room for every day of the draft because he wanted to go get counseling, which I respect, right? I am full supporter of taking care of your mental health, but like, I don't think cheating on your wife is a mental health issue. It's a personal fucking decision, right? Like, you made a choice, right? Like, you weren't mentally disturbed and all of a sudden, you went and did this. But anyway, I don't think you're wrong for that. I do like Vrabel as a coach. Like I said before, when it was Schottenheimer and Vrabel and some of the different options for Dallas, Vrabel was the guy I wanted. Right,
I'm with you. As far as coaching goes, the man can coach. The man proved it multiple times. I just think this year with the talent he has, and we're going to go back to football-wise, talent-wise, you look at what they have. Even if they add an A.J. Brown, and yes, they have a talented run game, and I'm not saying they don't have some players on defense. I'm not saying they can't be an AFC East contender. But what I'm telling you is, for the next 5 years, they're not Super Bowl contenders. Sorry, they're not. They're not getting out of the AFC. They're not getting out of the second round. They're never seeing an AFC championship game again, probably, in Vrabel, the rest of Vrabel's tenure there.
Probably. There's a very good chance you're right, yeah.
And that's just because look at who they're running up against. And I don't think Drake May is going to evolve past where a Joe Burrow is, or past where a Patrick Mahomes is, or a Josh Allen, or a Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's going to be a multiple-time MVP.
No.
I don't think he's going to be a multiple-time Super Bowl winner. I don't think he's that So to me, that's where I look at it, and just bringing it back to pure talent. Adding A.J. Brown to this team doesn't move the needle enough. It's not bringing Saquon to a team like the Eagles. They were that one piece away. That was it. Yes. That was the clicking point that turned them into
they had the defense.
Juggernaut.
They had the outside weapons. They had the tight end, but their ability to consistently.
That's not where New England is right now, and I think that's what we can agree on too.
100%. And my last thing I'll say about this is that the one thing I'll give Drake May is usually your second year as a quarterback is usually like your worst year, right? Because and
it was his best so far.
And it was his best so far. So I will give him that, right? I don't see Drake May nosediving to mediocrity, right? Like, I don't see him being in a Dan Orlovsky, right? Like some guy that you're like, how'd you even make an NFL roster, right? But like, that's why I still don't understand why people respect his opinion. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
We've always felt that way about Dan.
Oh, and also one thing, I owe you. This is kind of off topic, but kind of appropriate. I have to say, I owe you a long overdue apology.
Okay.
All
right.
So back in the day, right, when we had Sports Zone and we were in the studio and we're driving to Elizabeth 5 days a week, I made Erich every single day on the ride to the show listen to Colin Cowherd on ESPN Radio. And I don't know why I haven't thought about this. And it might be because I was listening to his takes on the draft, and he's like, yeah, Dallas won the draft, and Caleb Downs, what an amazing pick. And then all of a sudden, like, just tears apart the rest of their picks. And you're like, how do you think a team won the draft, but you only like one of their picks? And what I realized, thinking back over the last couple of years, I don't know why I respected and liked Colin Cowherd so much that I had us listen to him for a half an hour every single morning on the drive to the studio and would reiterate points and opinions and things that he would make on our show after listening to him. And I was this huge Colin Cowherd fan. And now I listen to him and I'm like, you're an idiot.
Sometimes he talks to talk. Sometimes I feel like he says things to get more of the reaction.
Yeah,
and then
I would agree.
I think he would actually himself even agree.
I would agree, but it was something clicked the other day. I'm like, I probably should apologize to Erich. That was a good 1.5, 2 year stretch where it was like every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 till 10 a.m. We're listening to Colin Cowherd. So just a long overdue apology for putting you through that,
my friend.
But speaking of opinions about the draft, look, I don't think we need to go through every team, right?
No. That's why. By the way, do you see where I started? Because I didn't even. First pick wasn't even a question. It's
We knew
not
that.
even worth talking about because everybody knew it. Everybody expected it. He might as well just sign the deal after the national championship game. It was over.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we're not
definitely,
even-
definitely.
I'm not even mentioning his name. I just throw it away. Like it is. I'll be honest. He'll be the most forgot about first overall pick of all time. I believe. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna die on this hill. I think Fernando Mendoza is gonna go down as the most forgettable first overall pick of all time.
Even like because of the names after him, that there's like
yeah,
because
because,
if you think of Ryan Leaf, right? Like
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf's forgettable because then Peyton went, right? You think of
Well, he's
Jamarcus
also
Russell.
forgettable because he's such a bust. Like, yeah, Jamarcus Russell. Like, I just think he's going to be not that this draft is forgettable because I think there's plenty of memorable things that have happened. I just think that he is like, he went to the Raiders, and unfortunately, where the Raiders are at right now, they're not a great organization.
No, they're
just
probably
top down, they're not
probably
great.
still picking in the top 5 next year, no question.
And that's why. So I don't think it said he's going to be a bust. Like, he may be good enough to start there and win some games and whatever. I just think he's destined for a life of mediocrity. And that alone, where you'll look back and you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember him as a quarterback. Oh yeah, where did he go to school? Oh yeah, wasn't he the first overall? Like, just going to be very forgettable. It's not going to be one of those
I
things.
was impressed with how he played in the national championship.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, and it's not like he didn't go against the defense with NFL starters.
Coming out of college to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I'm just saying. So, like, that's where, like, I feel like if you think about that, like, where Kirk Cousins.
I mean,
20 years from
financially,
now,
he'll be more than happy to be
and
compared to
everybody
Kirk
knows
Cousins,
who Kirk
right?
Cousins is
Financially,
right now. If you follow the NFL, you know Kirk Cousins. 20 years from now, most people aren't going to even remember, or most kids aren't going to know who Kirk Cousins are.
he's not someone.
And most adults are going to be like, yeah, he was that quarterback. He was with a couple teams, right?
He was okay.
Oh yeah, Washington. Where'd he go after? One of those.
Kirk Cousins should never even be discussed for the actual Hall of Fame, but he is a first ballot Hall of Famer when it comes down to working the salary cap and getting his money.
Oh,
that man has made stupid amounts of money that he really hadn't done much to earn.
I'm not taking anything away from him.
Props to him for that.
Yeah, get your money, get it while you can. There's enough of it to go around. They make billions, so you get your piece while you can. But outside of that, let's just hit these other picks here. I talked to my cousin because we talked before the draft with my cousin. He was thinking Arvell Reese with the number 2 pick. He was happy getting Bailey. People think he's more of a polished pass rusher. So I know Jet fans were happy with the draft. My cousin was very happy with the first round, the way they were able to also get Sadiq, who I didn't know much about him, but is a freak of nature. Like, he is just stupid athletic, ran like a 4.340, 4.39 40.
As a tight end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just really unbelievably athletic, and a lot of people see him as a weapon. So the fact that the Jets got him, and now he's got Geno Smith throwing him the ball, what kind of weapon he actually is, that on me, I don't see it, but for Jet fans out there, I know they're pumped about it. So,
I mean,
shout out to them. Shout out to the Jets' first round picks. The one thing or the 2 picks right here in the top 5 even that just kind of stumbled me. One was, I mean, how stupid is Arizona? Yeah, I mean, what a waste of Jeremiah Love.
Just the amount of areas they have holes.
The first 5 years of this man's career are going to be destined to be garbage because the Cardinals signed Algier. They still have Benson. They still have now they have him. Then they still have somebody else too. I forget who the other one is. They got like 4 running backs right now. What are you doing? It wasn't a position of need.
No, considering all the
so many other
they
things
have
out there, and I'm not saying that because I wanted the Giants to draft him. I'm saying it because from a front office perspective, even if you think he is the best guy in the draft, how can you look at that and say that's the best need for your team?
Yeah, after the Ezekiel Elliott experience as a Cowboys fan, I am completely against taking running backs in the top 10.
Saquon was great, but I got it because at the end you were saying, okay, well, let's give Eli a chance. Like last year or 2 of his career, or whatever. Like, I get it. They were trying. I could almost see where it came from. Arizona makes no sense here. And literally a guy they talked about that could have unbelievable Reggie Bush-like potential, this, that, and the other coming out of college, is now going to Arizona, who is starting, as of right now, Jacoby Brissett. What are we doing in Arizona?
And that's the thing, right? You look at a comparison of like a Reggie Bush, right? Reggie Bush was a flash player.
Yeah.
Right? That's what Reggie
Playing
Bush
the slot,
was.
could out of the backfield, could do a bunch of different things.
And he could also get rocked because he was smaller, right? I mean, somebody just posted the other day. They actually were like, oh, people are comparing Love and Bush. And then an Eagles fan, commented on it that I follow, and they were just like, yeah, and then this happened to him. And it shows that hit in the game between Philly and New Orleans where Reggie Bush looks like he should have lost his head. I don't like the pick at all. If I was Arizona and Love was the guy you wanted, I would have did everything humanly possible to trade back, even taking less value than I probably should have gotten for my number 3 overall pick. But at the same time, the way people keep talking about this draft overall, this was just a simple, we're going to take the best player available on our board because they're not in love with really anybody. And that's what I've gotten out of it. I think
It's a top-heavy draft. They say like the top 20 overall were like, that's about like
that's why I said the like consensus
grade,
big board amongst all like the NFL GMs
Yeah.
like create this consensus big board. And from everything I've seen, right, like Jeremiah Love was one of the top ranked players, but everything I've heard is that the consensus big board only had first round grades on like 23 or 27 guys, which means
that's it.
You can't even fill the first round with first round grades. This was the draft to try to manipulate and maneuver. Even if you stayed in this year's draft, this was the year. Hey, you know what? You really want to jump ahead of me, or flop with me because you think the team after us is going to take the guy, the guy that you want. Like, let's do it, right? Dallas did it with Miami, right? They sacrificed 2 5th-round picks to move up one spot. Then they make a trade with Philly to go back 3 spots, but get 2 4th-round picks for it.
Hold on, but let's go there real quick to Dallas. Did they need to move up the spot? Because once the Giants didn't take Downs, and Downs is their guy, like Downs wasn't going to go with that next pick. So, like to me, I don't think Dallas had to move up that one spot.
I was pretty pissed when they did it, but.
Do you see the method
I'm
of the madness?
I'm not mad about it after the trade with Philly later in the first, because basically what happened was they traded their 12th overall pick and 2 5ths to move up 1 spot, and I think a 7th, either this draft or next draft, but 7ths are just throw shit against the wall and you hope you get it right? So they trade their 12th and 2 5th-round picks to go up to the 11. They get the 11 back from Miami, but then they trade from 20 to 23 and get 2 4th-round picks to replace the 2 5ths that they lost. So technically, they traded up 1 spot, lost 2 5ths, then traded back 3 spots and gained 2 4ths. So when they gained the 2 4ths from Philly and still got the guy they wanted to get, then I was like, all right, I'm good. Like, and it turned like a couple of guys that the 2 4th-round picks that they took are guys that the Cowboy beat writers are like, hey, they're not going to be starters this year, but they can step in for depth. They can be guys that, in 2 to 3 years could be start. All right, cool. Right. Let's roll with it. Right. When they took Dak Prescott in the 4th round, nobody was like, hey, he's your future franchise quarterback.
Wait, hold on. Correct yourself there. Correct yourself.
So Erich thought that was a really good pick.
When he was drafted, who is the guy who told you have your guy?
Yeah, I know. I will give Erich 100% credit for that because he definitely did. And I'm like, I don't even know who the guy is. He's like Mississippi State. I've watched him. Trust me, he's really good. I'm like, all right, well, hopefully a year or 2 behind Romo, and then the story unfolds. Like, I can't believe this is going to be Prescott's 11th season.
Yeah,
like holy shit. But that's a whole nother convo. But
tell me that's not a franchise guy. He's going to go down as an old-time Cowboy.
He's already broken almost every passing record that they have. He's right up there in even regular season wins. The only thing, if you give him a ring, if he gets a ring, he's automatically in their ring of honor, right? Like, there's no question about it.
If he gets a ring,
If he gets a ring, he's automatically in
No.
Dallas's ring
So
of
if
honor.
he and I know we're getting a little off the draft here, but if because this is a big what if here, and for people who followed us for a long time, I think they'd be interested to hear what you think about this. If he gets a ring for the first time in 30 years, and Dallas wins a Super Bowl, is he, and he has all the records, all the Cowboy records, he now has a chip. Is he above Aikman?
No.
Why? After breaking the 30-year drought, getting him over the hump in a Jerry world. If he was able to do that, I feel like it's almost like a Herculean task that would be equal to two.
I mean, it is, but you can talk to anybody from those 90s teams, and they'll all tell you they weren't winning Super Bowls without Troy Aikman. They'll all tell you that. And
see, I think they would say they were all winning them without. They weren't winning them without Emmitt Smith. I mean, I think he was the workhorse.
I mean, Emmitt was without a doubt the workhorse, but Troy was the heart and soul. He was the leader of the team. He was the one, like, when you watch clips of him
Michael
on
Irvin
the side,
was the
like
cocaine.
yeah, he was the energy. We'll put it that way. Like he was, like when you watch clips of him on the sideline, like Troy was the guy that would go up to the defense and curse them out for giving up a score, right? Like he was the guy that would go up to his O-line and be like, "You guys need to effing block." Like Troy Aikman was the heart and soul of those championship teams, and in all honesty, if it wasn't for all the concussion issues he had in the late 90s, I don't think they would have gotten back to a Super Bowl, but the last couple years of his career would have been a lot more memorable than what they turned out to be, right? Because he was getting beat up. When it comes to Emmitt, I mean, I think Emmitt probably holds one of the few records in the NFL that'll never be broken, and it's because of how the game's trending, right? Like the game is trended away from run first, pass, right? Like I don't see a NFL running back anywhere in the league that's going to come close to his over 18,000 rushing yards and over whatever.
Well, it was the longevity he had too.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he played for what 20?
I think it was like 16 years, something like that.
Yeah,
but like he's got one of those few records. But either way, back to the draft. Let's bring this full circle. Somehow we're already almost half an hour into our show. Yeah, so let's talk about our teams. Or actually, you know what?
I just did that with your Cowboys.
Yeah,
so
actually, you know what?
You're happy with your Cowboys drafts.
Yes.
So,
Caleb Downs falling to us. I remember I was sitting on the couch with a man, and I'm like, I just want Dallas to get one of these three guys. And Arvell Reese went, and then
you had no chance at Reese.
No, but the Ohio State crew.
Oh, so Sonny Styles,
Reese. And Downs, right?
Yeah.
I was like, and like when you guys didn't take Styles at 5 because Reese fell, I'm like, all right, maybe. And then I watched Washington take him, and I'm sitting there, and Amanda's like, what's wrong? I'm like, 2 of the 3 guys I wanted Dallas to take are already gone, and there's still like 5 picks before they go. Like, I don't think they're, and like they're the guy.
Like I expected, even if Reese didn't go 2, I expected Reese to go 3,
That's
and then I thought 4 was going to be Love to Tennessee. And then I thought, all right, well, then we'll end up with one of the guys we wanted at 5. But when they went Love and they went Tate, which we're going to get into that. I want to get into that one in a minute, the Tate one, because that one shocked me, I'll be honest. But going to my Giants, because we hit on your Cowboys and you're happy.
I'm good.
I'm happy as a Giant fan. Let's go.
I was curious how you're going to feel about the offensive lineman with Downs being there. I was kind of curious how you're going to feel about that.
I love it because you gave Miami Maui. I'm good. You gave him. I'm good.
After he got drafted, when they interviewed him,
he's like, "I'll die for you." I'm like,
yeah,
I'm in.
Like that.
I'm in.
I figured you were sold in that moment when they like any message
he's
for
just like when you watch him, which I watched a couple of Miami games this year, but I'm sure you caught at least a couple of the highlights. But even if you watch, he's at least a man already. Like he's stepping on. Like he's not going to be intimidated. He's not coming out there a guy you're going to have to like. They're already, I think, going to try to slot him at right guard. Is I think the plan overall. Great. Bolster the line behind Dart and our run game. Scatterboo's a maniac. He's destined for injury. Keep that man as healthy as possible, please. How do you do that? You build in the trenches. You build the line. So I love it. We've drafted Andrew Thomas. We've drafted this guy. We tried with Evan Neal. It didn't necessarily work. Although we've re-signed him, so who knows? Maybe Harbaugh's got a different plan up his sleeve. The last couple of years, they've really fixed the line between Runyon and I never pronounce his name, but I think it's like Eleanor.
Last year was the best the Giants' offensive line has probably looked in 7 years. And they were top 10,
and it's going to be that good again next year. And by adding to depth to it, adding better linemen to it, I'm all for. Bring it in. Smash mouth, bring back Giant football, bring back the run game. I loved it. I loved watching Tiki Barber run. I loved watching Brandon Jacobs run. I loved watching these guys run. Let them run wild. Let Scatterboo go crazy. Him and that new crazy fullback we got. Let him just go smash happy.
You guys signed, what's his name from Baltimore?
We got the Super Smash Bros.
Richard or Ricard or
yeah, we got the Super Smash Bros. Back there. Just let him go wild and crazy. I'm all for it. I love this draft. And I love it because we didn't just settle in and say, oh, well, Downs is who we were expecting, so we're going to take... No. Best overall. Arvell Reese wasn't supposed to be there. If he falls to you and he was the number one guy on your board, by all means, take that guy.
Oh, he's going to be a problem.
And and people are saying, oh, but is that like too many pass rushers for... No. When the Giants were great, they had the NASCAR package. They had Tuck and Umanura and Kiwanuka and all these guys and Strahan and all these guys. They rushed the passer. Do you know what got them that Super Bowl over Brady? Do you know why they're 18-1? One Giant loss? It's because we got after the quarterback. And in today's NFL, the number one thing you have to do on defense is get after the quarterback because teams will throw it 40 times a game now.
Without hesitation.
So if you can get after the quarterback and take that aspect of the game away, it's unbelievable. But the thing about Reese is he barely even rushed in college. He could do anything as a linebacker. Like I love that. I want a guy who's versatile. I don't want a one-dimensional guy.
The one clip I watched, I can't remember what school they were against, but they were going against arguably the best scrambling quarterback in college last year. I don't remember his name. And they were talking about how he literally couldn't do anything because Ohio State's game plan was just say, Arvell, you follow him.
Yeah.
Don't chase him. You follow him. Do not let him get out of the pocket and create a play. And you're watching these clips, and this dude is flying, and you just see this gargantuan of a young man that probably should have no physical ability to keep up with this kid, and he's all over him. Like, this kid couldn't get, and he couldn't turn the corner on him. He couldn't cut around him. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, man. Like, damn it. Like, that was my reaction. Why? I'm like, all right, well, there's 2 games every single year, and Dak probably is thankful he's not in his 20s anymore and running around like a lunatic, but it's still going to mess him up.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my great feeling when I saw Neighbor's reaction to Downs getting drafted by Dallas. He's like, son of a... I was hoping we were going to get him. I already had to play against the guy. I don't want to have to play against him twice a year. And I'm like, see, that's the things you want to hear, right? When the people that actually play against these guys react in that way. And there's no way in hell there aren't reaction videos from somebody like a Dak Prescott or a Jaden Daniels, right? That's like, or Hurts, seeing that guy get drafted.
You want
like,
to know
son
the
of
reaction?
A bitch.
The reaction. I want the reaction video. I want to see Matthew Stafford's face when Ty Simpson got drafted 13th
so
overall.
Supposedly,
they let him know.
Supposedly, what's his name? The head coach hit him up like, "Hey, like this, we're taking this guy, but it's not to take your job because they're working with an extension on Stafford."
But did you hear about that though? Apparently, they never met with Simpson. McVay never talked with Simpson. Ever before the draft.
I heard different. I heard McVay talk to Simpson a lot.
Oh, see, I had heard they hadn't talked at all.
Oh, the joys of social media. What's true? What's not?
Exactly. But I had heard there was not much talk, and then that it was, you know.
Well, you're a Bama guy, right?
I am.
And we kind of touched on.
And you know me, I called it straight. Like I said to certain guys.
That's why I want to ask you this. So we touched on Mendoza, right, being arguably maybe the most forgetful first-round pick of all time. Who has the better career? They're the only 2 first-round quarterbacks.
Oh, it's without a doubt Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah?
Put it in the books.
You just see, like...
Well, because by the time Ty Simpson even has a chance to sniff the field...
I mean, you're talking at least 2 years.
At least, probably, or at least a year, not till next year at
minimum.
Earliest. And then when he comes in, what kind of set? What kind of team are they going to have around him at that point? Like,
McVay is a quarterback-friendly coach. So I think that'll help.
But he hasn't turned Stetson Bennett into the next Stafford either.
And that's the other thing too, right? Does Ty Simpson have a better career because he's in a better spot with the Rams and McVay and how they run their organization?
No, I think Mendoza has a better chance because at least he's a first overall pick, and I think he's coming out with more hype behind him that I think more likely that he gets.
I think he has more talent
to start after this first contract is over. So say like plays out his rookie deal. I think he's still got a chance to either start with the Raiders or start somewhere else after that. I think Ty Simpson after his rookie deal,
he does the Kirk Cousins roads, right? He gets his 5th-year option with the Raiders, then they tag him 2 years, then they let him go, and he gets some fully guaranteed. Oh man,
be an average for somebody else.
I was gonna say, look, Mendoza, if you're gonna be like Kirk Cousins. Financially is the way to go.
He's gonna right down the middle for this guy. But anyway, yeah. So, but Ty Simpson, and it's not that I don't like him, but I'm gonna tell you flat out, he was a 4-year Bama guy who got 1 year of starts. He started his senior this last year. He had 15 starts. That's his entire NCAA career.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm just not the biggest fan of guys who don't have enough of the reps. And he just didn't get enough of the reps. He had Jalen Milroe. He had Bryce Young. He had other people in his way, and I get that. But at the same time, like, you didn't outplay him. You weren't better than him. And do I think you're going to have a better career overall? I'm rooting for him. I want him to be great. I want all Bama guys to be great. I really do. I'm not rooting against him, so I don't want it to come off like that. But if you're going to ask me, out of the 2 quarterbacks drafted in the first round there, which one am I taking first overall? Or like which one do I think is going to get the second contract? I think it's Fernando Mendoza. And I hope I'm wrong. That's just kind of how it goes, unfortunately.
So I want to shout out my cousin. He said he's like, the Falcons won the draft, and I'm like, I definitely don't think Atlanta won the draft.
Ty Simpson, think Mac Jones, think A.J. McCarron, think Greg McElroy.
Oh God, okay.
Think like that, like that's the tier, and Mac Jones is probably above him. Mac Jones probably the upper end
basically
of that
a career backup that if they have to start a couple games here or there in your season, you're not pissed off about it.
I think that's where he's going. I think that's the career. Okay. And again, going to make millions of dollars and set up generational wealth for him and his family, and that's I'm happy for him. So I don't want there's no hate here. No hate.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, but at the same time, one of the things I will say about the Rams is they 100% live by the motto of F those picks. Right?
F those picks.
This was literally their first year with a first round pick in how many years?
And they could have got Stafford some help.
And they could have gotten Stafford some help.
Could have got him a wide receiver. Could have got him Sadiq.
Could have traded back, stacked more pick. Like they had
a lot of people were thinking Sadiq could have went there. And that would have been
put him in with that team. Yeah,
that could have been a big help to Stafford.
And the Rams said, "F those picks." Like they trade them all away. It got them their Super Bowl. They were good. They're happy. They finally got their first round pick again. And they're like, "Yeah, no, you know what? We're gonna take a draft pick that literally should have zero impact on our team for this year, possibly next year, and maybe even the third year. But since it's a first round pick, we get a 5th-year option, so we get 2 years to see if we got like that.
When was the last
if I was a Rams fan, I would have been
sat
pissed.
for more than like a year though, or 2 years?
Love sat for 2.
2, but that was probably the last.
That was the last guy. Yeah. You don't take a quarterback in the first
part. It was Rodgers who sat behind.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if the Rams are trying to go the Green Bay route, you got to pray you're lucky enough. I mean, Green Bay's had a great quarterback, or at least an above average to really good quarterback for 30 plus years. I mean, that's the definition of being spoiled. But at the same time, it also proves to you how hard winning a Super Bowl is. Right? Yes, the quarterback may be the most important position, but it's not the only determining factor on winning a Super Bowl. You have 30 plus years of above average to great quarterback play, you got 2 Super Bowls, which is still more than a lot of teams can say. But 2 Super Bowls, that's it. Like, that's crazy. So, but yeah, my cousin, I got to shout Jake out. He feels like Atlanta won the draft. I told him I don't agree with that personally. They didn't take anybody in the first round. I believe they traded out of the first round. You can't win the draft
if you don't even take a first round pick.
They've got AJ Terrell on their team. They drafted his brother, so now they're going to have the 2 Terrell brothers at corner. Got an offensive lineman, a linebacker. I wasn't overly impressed by Atlanta's draft. But again, I think this is one of those drafts, right? You say it all the time. You really don't know what a draft is and how good the draft was and how well your team did with the draft until you're about 3 years removed from the draft. But most drafts, there's at least a handful or so guys that within that first year, you're like, yep, you should have been drafted where you were, or you should have been drafted higher than you were. I think this is the definition of a draft that you will not know what you really got until you're 2-3 years removed from this draft. So I've heard, this team won the draft, this team won the draft, this team won the... Look, you have no idea because this is probably one of the most downplayed draft classes, honestly, I think I could ever remember. I don't think I've ever remembered a draft where even the guy going number 1 overall was talked about as if, well, if these other guys also came out, they wouldn't go number 1 overall, right? This is probably the first draft I really can think of where all this has happened. So, you could say your team won the draft. You could say you don't like your team's draft, but guess what? You might hate your team's draft, and in 3 years, you had the best draft class out of everybody. Love your team's draft, and in 3 years, you have the worst draft class, right? Like, Arvell Reese and the offensive lineman, love them, right? Love them. 3 years from now, you'd be like, what a waste of 2 top 10 picks, right? As a Cowboys fan.
Well, that's what people are saying right now about the Thibodeau Evan Neal draft.
You just don't know, and that's why I said when we did the preview show last week, right? Yeah. Don't go at these kids. It's not their fault. Your team drafted them. They achieved a lifelong dream.
Don't you feel bad for some of these kids though of where they get drafted? Because like I look at it and I'm just like.
Well,
love
going to Arizona. Yeah, that's a great, dude. You were without a doubt.
I feel bad for him. Yeah, I don't want to put him down. Because you're great.
You are one of the best players in this class. You're going to go into the league and probably almost right away be one of the better running backs in the league. But you went to a team that has nothing around you. So guess what? You're probably going to average like 2.4 a clip. You're going to look like Barry Sanders. You're going to have these random breakout runs that look amazing because of how good you are at the game of football. But the other 90% of your runs are going to be 1-2 yards, and you're going to get there are guys that get drafted, and I just feel bad. Like, I'm just like, you deserved a better setting. And to sit there and realize this kid is there for the next 5 years of his life, whether he likes it or not,
And to put a little bow here on the draft and our thoughts on it, I will say I was happy this year that there was no to me really sad story in the green room, where they didn't have
the kids there all
like last year where it was and I hate to say it because I'm not his biggest fan. I don't think he's very good, and I don't think he's going to be very good this year. But Shedeur Sanders. They kicked that poor kid in the dick last year.
They set him up for failure.
They really
time.
did.
ESPN's please come to the green room.
And they have a camera in his face 24. It was just too much. So I'm glad that didn't happen this year.
Yeah, I do feel for those kids. It was a lot more
positive and whatever. But I will say the one thing that bothered me that was a little bit money grubby, where I was is that really necessary to do?
I so hope you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
When they were on the draft stage and they got drafted and they'd turn around, there was a table there and they'd have to sign their first draft card.
First trading card, yeah. It was only the first 10 picks, but still.
I'm come on. Is that what,
Yeah.
Like, do you need to do that? Like, yeah, we know you're going to sign some shit. We know these people got you in a bad. We know that you're under contract. We get it, but do we need to see you sign the card?
That is
stage?
not even close to what I thought you were going to say.
Like, it just was one of those things where I was like, money-wise, like, I get it. You're trying to advertise the cards. You want people to go out and buy these packs thinking that these cards are going to be in there, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But to another extent, like, it was just another layer of advertising on top of the advertising, on top of the commercials, on top of the banners, on top of the.
So that's where I talking about commercials. That's where I thought you were going. So Mendoza, right? First guy projected to be the #1 overall pick to stay home for the draft, and God knows how long, right? And I respect that, right?
Yeah.
You want like
because it's a show.
For arguably the greatest moment of my life is a early 20-something. Do I want to be in this room with cameras shoved in my face the entire time? And yeah, I know some of these guys. I've competed against some of these guys. Some of these guys I don't know at all, and a whole bunch of people telling me what to do and where to go. Or would I rather be home surrounded by the people that helped me get here so that I can enjoy the moment immediately with them? So I completely respect him staying home.
Oh, absolutely.
What I didn't respect, and it's not his fault, so this is not a knock on him, the LinkedIn commercial? From his house? Amanda's like, that was a horrible commercial. I'm like, babe, they literally did it on the spot. Like, he stayed home for the draft, and they were literally like, hey, we know you're going #1 overall. Sign our endorsement deal with LinkedIn, and the night you get drafted, we're going to have you film a commercial basically live. It was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. And also, what the hell does an NFL player need to do on LinkedIn? You are not, as an NFL player, you're not benefiting from LinkedIn. You're just not.
Not only are you not benefiting, you're not even on it. Like, you have no reason to be on it. It's who are you networking with? Other football players? Like, other coaches? Yeah, what does your network look like? That's what I want to know.
Like, there's no CEO out there that was like, oh man, Mendoza's on LinkedIn. I got to try and connect with him. I wonder if we have any second or third connections so I can get to him. But like, that to me, like, I feel you with the cards because I thought that was stupid too. But the stupidest thing to me was that LinkedIn commercial. I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
These guys aren't actors. They're not actors. Like, you're putting this 20-year-old kid on the spot to do, like, a live read practically.
Like, they're probably holding the script of the commercial behind the camera.
But they think it's easy. They think that shit, like, they think just get, like...
That's what I mean. My knock's not on him. My knock is on LinkedIn. Like, that is horrible.
Well, a horrible marketing idea. Like you said, the one thing is they're getting us to talk about it, but the thing is like, and I get that I guess the rule of thumb has always been any publicity is good publicity. But to me, this isn't good publicity. This is you shitty marketing. And it's like, well, if your marketing's shitty, then is your networking shitty? Like, what else is shitty?
Yeah, that was so bad.
If this is the best idea LinkedIn can come up with, and I don't know if they got the right people driving the force that I want to be behind.
It was so bad.
You know what I mean? Like, you might want to check a different. You know what? I'm gonna go to ZipRecruiter instead because I just don't think I'm gonna get the right guys on LinkedIn.
So little. Wait, where is it?
Can you find Fernando Mendoza on there for me?
I actually deleted LinkedIn off my phone. That's how little I use LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I don't even have it on my phone. Because like now your phone like automatically like basically like deletes apps if you don't use them, right? I think it showed the little download arrow, and I'm like, I'm never going to use this app. I use it at work when I get connection requests from people I work with.
Yeah.
And thankfully I had my laptop save my password and login because I have no idea what it is. So the second I get disconnected from LinkedIn, like I'm disconnected from LinkedIn. Like I'm not going back. And Fernando Mendoza is not going to drive me back to LinkedIn either. But no knock on him. That's definitely on LinkedIn. That one was too funny to me. But all right, so NFL draft in the books. We are, I believe, 71 days away from the start of off-season OTAs, and we're about 89 or 90-something days away from training camp. We talk a lot of football either way, so we'll definitely talk more football. But playoffs? We've got playoffs going on in the NHL and the NBA.
We'll start there with the NHL real quick. So we'll hit that real quick. Any quick thoughts? Caught any
my Dallas
games at all?
my Dallas Stars are letting me down. They are not. They're just getting outplayed by Minnesota. There's no other way to put it. They're literally just getting outplayed by Minnesota. And I think they are good enough to win the series, but they're going to need some help. And that includes the Wild kind of not playing as well as they have played this entire series. So we talked about it last week, right? When I was in AC, I put the game on. I'm like, all right, it's 1-0 in Minnesota. This should be a great game. Like, second period. Amanda goes to take a shower. By the time she gets out of the shower, now just to be clear here, Amanda didn't go take like a half-hour shower, right? Like 10, maybe 15 minutes, like a normal person shower. And she comes back out, and by the time she comes back out, it's 3-0. And I'm like, man, I don't think this is going to be a good game anymore. And then Dallas scores 3-1. I'm like, man, if they can keep it at 3-1 and get to the third period, anything can happen. And 20 seconds later, they gave up another goal, 4-1. You're like, this game's over. They ended up losing, I think, 5-1 or 5-2. Like, done. Minnesota's just looked like the better team. Even though the series is only 3-2, Minnesota has looked like the better team. So that's been a little disappointing from my perspective. I think Colorado made it very clear why they were arguably one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league all year.
They look solid.
Looking at the East, Pittsburgh is battling back. I thought Philly had them done when they got up 3-1, and now we're potentially 3-3 tonight. I think they play tonight.
Well, I mean, you have that series, and then you got Philly making it a series against Boston they're too, and in the NBA when we get over there, But to be honest, there's still no fan base worse.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marissa.
She literally put in our chat, she's like, we love Philly sports. I'm like, the only people that love Philly sports are Philly fans. Everybody else hates you guys.
Yeah.
Right? Like, love you as a person, right? Got love for plenty of Philly fans that are out there, right? They're friends and really close friends and some family.
But I'll be honest, I'm rooting against the Flyers.
I'm with them. Right here. But yeah, I mean, Philly was up 3-1, right? And or 2-0, and then 2-1 and 3-1, and then Pittsburgh came back. They played a hell of a game, made it 3-2. And a lot of momentum's really kind of shifting back to Pittsburgh. I would love to see them force a game 7, and not because I'm not losing sleep if the Flyers win, right? I really can't say I care that much. But a game 7 between the two Pennsylvania teams, that's pretty awesome, right? Like to me, it's like Rangers Devils, right? Yeah,
it
like,
would be really cool.
If you get Rangers Devils, you would want to see that go. Last time they played in the playoffs, they went 7, and that was one of the most exciting.
Well, listen, there was a point
I've ever watched
in sports history where they were the Steagles. They were one team, I think. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. They were the Steagles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh God. That I wouldn't even want to deal with that.
But so I think it would be a hell of a thing for Pennsylvania and that state to get a game 7. I'm rooting for it because, again, like we just talked about, Pittsburgh comes back in this series. So we'll see what happens. But if not, I think whoever gets that next series against the Hurricanes is gonna have their hands full. They're a tough team.
They've been a tough team for 8 years. This is 8 straight. I can't remember the head coach's name, but from when he took over, every single year he's been their head coach. Not only have they made the playoffs, they've won at least one series. No cup. A lot of people are saying if they can't get the cup this year, Carolina may actually consider moving on from him, because it's like, are you like kind of? It made me think of Mark Jackson, right? Multiple years in a row, and Golden State's this really good team, and they're right there, but they can't get there. And in comes Steve Kerr, and the rest is history, right? Who, by the way, is stepping down after this year, which we can touch on at a different date. But either way, there's just nothing better than NHL hockey playoffs. I'm sorry.
Is he stepping down there? Because I thought I saw something that they were still under like talks for a contract.
I mean, they might be trying to get him to stay, but last I saw, he was stepping down. Okay. But that was, hey, Steve Kerr set to step down after the season. Technically, the season's been over for 2.5 weeks, so like he could have stepped down already. So maybe they are talking to him, trying to get him to stay. I think if I'm him, right, I stay till Steph's done. Like, that's how I would look at it, right? Like, Steph and me did all of this together, right? No disrespect to Draymond Green or Klay Thompson, but him and Steph were your cornerstones. I think
Speaking
you
of
stay
which,
together.
switch it over to Steph. But the Klay Thompson thing, that's another TMZ article I don't want to get involved in. Because, I don't know, something with him and what, Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah.
Some improprieties go on. I don't know, more TMZ stuff, but Clay's got enough to worry about. But listen, he's got plenty of money and plenty of rings, so I'm sure he's doing all right.
He'll be all right.
I'm sure he's doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, with a switch to the NBA, I think I said it last week when we talked about the Knicks Hawks. The Knicks are winning this series. They're the better team. Out of the 5 games they've played, only one of them the Knicks didn't have a large lead. And that was the one game they lost in Atlanta where their first lead was up 9-6, and then they didn't have a lead again until the fourth quarter, and they ended up blowing it. Other than that, they've gone up by as much as 18, 20. I mean, last night they were up by, 23 at one point or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Brown figured out that, because basketball, right? Basketball is probably the only sport where one guy can literally just take it over, right? And turn the tides for everything, right? Mike Brown realized Atlanta has nobody that can stop Karl Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson's going to do Jalen Brunson, right? He's going to give you 25 plus every game. He's going to give you close to 10 assists.
39 last night.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Jalen Brunson is going to do Jalen Brunson things, but he can't carry the team by himself. And Mike Brown basically realized Karl Anthony Towns is the way we're going to get through this series. And going back to what we touched on last week, he also realized I can't have both of my guys off of the court at the same time for extended periods of time. One thing for a minute, right? But you get Karl Anthony Towns out, you keep Brunson in, switch it up, right? I can't have both sitting on the bench for 4 or 5 minutes of game time. It's a recipe for disaster. I think the Knicks close it out in Atlanta tomorrow. I think you're good there.
I hope we close it out in Atlanta. They got to come in with a sense of urgency, and I'll say that that's the one thing that I look at this team, and I think that's what they've missed. So, game 1 they come in, game 1 they win, whatever. Game 2 they lose. They're going back to Atlanta, but I feel like going back to Atlanta, they were just kind of too cocky in themselves. They kind of just feeling themselves a little bit, going, we're good. Next thing you know, they're down 2-1. And it didn't look so good for the Knicks anymore.
It did not.
And I think they got complacent. I think they just got into a mode where they're we're the better team. We got this. And it just, they had to get back into a killer mentality. You got to get back into, no. We got to put this game away. We got to make sure that there's no comeback. We have to make sure that this is done and over. Like last night, 2-3 minutes to go, there was no comeback. The game was 18, 20 points. It didn't matter what Atlanta could have chucked. Buddy Hield could have chucked up. Didn't matter what they were doing. CJ McCollum wasn't going to make enough. Wasn't going to do enough. That's what you have to do. You have to have that mentality. We talked about it. Things that made Jordan great and Kobe great and some of these guys great. That killer mentality.
Yeah, just because you're on the ground doesn't mean I'm walking away. I'm going to make sure you can't ever get back up.
And that's the thing, is you got to have that mentality. So I feel like they went back to that. I feel like the 2-1 thing was a bit of a, they can't have this. And then the last 2 games, they've gone out and kicked the crap out of them. Yeah. Just honestly, that's exactly what they've done. Wthey've gone out and beat them on both ends of the floor, beat them pretty handily.
Yeah, and I think that game 2 loss was one of those things where they were up by 13 in game 1. Atlanta got it a little closer to make the loss look a little more respectable. And I think the Knicks kind of walked out of there. It was like, oh, this game was only closer because we let them make it closer. And I think they went in with a little bit too much of a confidence, right? You got to be confident, but you can't underestimate your opponent. There's a difference, right? And I think they kind of underestimated Atlanta in game 2. They thought Atlanta would
roll over.
And then when you look at game 3, Atlanta took the momentum from game 2, the home court advantage, and they rode that wave. And they still had to take it down to the final. I mean, the Knicks still could have won that game. Yeah. So that to me is really when you look at the 5 games that have been played, the Knicks are clearly the better team. as long as they don't look at Atlanta like some little thing in the way that they got to just get past because Boston's their real goal, right? Like, and speaking
Boston's
of that,
in a series, though. Speaking
Boston
of that,
thought
like,
they had this
with the
locked.
Sixers, I mean, but Embiid coming back, he looked like a beast.
Especially in that second half, he stepped up big time. And the one thing I'll say, Boston added Vucevic from Chicago earlier in the year. Vucevic can't guard Embiid. No freaking way. And the biggest issue with Boston, and it hurts.
He's a former MVP, man. When the guy wants to show up and play, like,
oh yeah, when he's healthy and he wants to do it,
and he's healthy, like he can do it.
Oh yeah,
like he's a baller.
But what kills Boston is Boston. They basically play 2016 through 2019 Warriors basketball, right?
Yeah.
Three ball, like they're shooting 30, 40 threes every single game.
That's it.
Problem is, none of them, including Tatum and Brown, can shoot a three as good as Steph Curry could or Klay Thompson could. None of them could do it. So when they're on, right, if they're hitting 35 to 40% of their threes, basically nobody can beat them. But that's pretty much the rule in the NBA now. If I can hit 38, 40% of my three-pointers and I'm shooting 30 or 40 of them a game, how are you going to beat me? You can't do it. But if I'm only making 20% of them, I pretty much don't have a chance to beat you, right? So that to me is Boston's biggest problem. That's why they didn't win. That's why they didn't get back to the finals last year. Like shout out to Paula, one of my good friends. Like she's a diehard Celtics fan. I remember last year during the playoffs texting her, and I'm like, whoever they were playing, I can't remember. I'm like, why are they shooting threes? Like the guy is in their face because they know they want to shoot a three. Set a pick, go around him, and drive the hole. Like the paint is waving its arms, saying, "Please enter me," which sounds really inappropriate, and I apologize for that.
But, I might have to cut that. Yeah, might have to be a drop.
But like the bottom line is like it was calling for them. And as grown ass men, they were like, "Nah, I'll still chuck it from out here." Like, what are you doing? So that's Boston's Achilles heel, but it got them a championship. I think it cost them the chance to get back to the championship last year. Obviously, Tatum getting hurt was the final straw.
I'm hoping that series goes 7, though. I'll be honest.
The Celtics, Philly?
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of...
For your Knicks or for entertainment purposes?
For both.
Okay.
Wear them out.
Yeah, if you're a Knicks fan, you want it to go 7.
I want it to go
and
7.
And you want to
wrap
up to tomorrow.
6. Yep.
Yeah, you want to wrap up tomorrow.
And then just this way, you got a little bit of extra rest. And get ready for that next series. But yeah, that's...
Oh, wow. They both play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's your thing, right? Like, if Boston loses tomorrow in Philly and New York wins tomorrow in Atlanta, the Knicks are going to be looking at 3-4 days off no matter what happens. Well, not no matter what happens.
That's why it's a big deal.
Yeah, like, it's very important. And it's not hockey. Right, we know they're not taking a beating.
And
but
how
still.
important would it be, though, especially if the Knicks somehow didn't win tomorrow? Because then Boston knows, well, if we win, we get the extra rest now.
Yeah, and you don't want that. I think overall, though, the one series that truly has my attention is this Nuggets-Timberwolves series.
To be honest, it's the best matchup overall,
and it
I think.
Sucks because Anthony Edwards, done. The only way he plays in the playoffs again is like game 7 of next round. Like they are saying he's week to week evaluation, and you all of a sudden, right? And like that's the worst part. Like
turns what could have been an all-time great series into
what could flip in the Nuggets' favor, and Minnesota gets screwed because of an injury. Like I always like because when I play video, like when I do my video games, right, and I do my season, whether it's my NBA 2K or Madden or whatever, I play with injuries on during the season, right? Because like I take my franchise serious. I draft guys. I try, hey, like I'll put sub packages together so I can get my, 70-something rookie a couple plays every game, whatever. But I turn them off for the preseason and the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, I'm like, I want to play the best of the best, and I want my best of the best, in my control, right? Mm-hmm. And preseason, is there any time you get more upset that a guy gets injured than when he's running around in shorts and a t-shirt, and didn't even get hit by anybody? Like he's shorts and a t-shirt, and he turned too quick and blows his knee, and we don't see him again for at least 12 to 16 months. Like That to me is the worst. So the injuries are off during the preseason and injuries are off during the playoffs. I wish there was an injuries off button, and not just for basketball, for every sport. Like that New England Denver game in the AFC Championship would have been more fun if Denver's quarterback was playing. Like there's no question about it.
But tell me though,
I mean, the snow.
as disappointing as the end of this series could be with that injury, and where we think the series is going to go. If you're talking about series, how do you not look at the next series and go Spurs Nuggets with Wemby coming off of Defensive Player of the Year,
First unanimous defensive player of the year ever.
and then but then you got Jokic, who is just 2-3 time in a row MVP, just an absolute
A walking triple-double.
But and in just such a you want to talk about dad bods? Like he is the king of dad bods. Like if there was a king of dad bods doing sports, it is.
He's your
Nikola
poster
Jokic.
child. Yeah,
like
yeah.
he is the poster child for dad
Even
bods.
Luka Doncic looks up to him and says, "I aspire to be like
Right?
that."
Like
yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, but you look at him and you're like, you should not be this good.
No.
You should not be running with people that look like other athletes out there. Like you look like you belong in
that's the
like
thing.
an over 35 softball league.
Other than his height, there's nothing about him that looks athletic
At all.
Absolutely nothing.
But yet he's amazing.
He's arguably the best player in the world. Arguably,
And
it's crazy.
But that's why. But I think in the next series, you could see two of the best players in the world. Like we're seeing, LeBron, greatest of all time, whatever but we're not talking about him anymore. He's past that prime. He's past the Wemby prime. He's past the
what
Jokic
he's doing
prime
at 40,
even.
41 years old is
still amazing.
But
he's not these two.
Yeah.
And to put these kind of teams on the court, I mean, we've been waiting for the Spurs a few years now for the Spurs to get this good under Wemby. And now he's getting there. We know Jokic won a couple titles already, so he knows what it's like, and I'm sure he don't want to lose. So I think that could be a great series. Like you said, I think the Nuggets probably turn this around because of that hand injury, and I think we could be looking at a great round 2 with the Spurs and the Nuggets.
Yeah, the Timberwolves are going to, and Dante DiVincenzo, their 6th man, got hurt, and he's out for at least the rest of this series, right? So like. 2 of their top 6, 7 guys on their entire roster, including their top guy, they're out. Like, if Denver can't turn this series around and win it, like, how are you going to look in the mirror, right? Mike Malone probably laughed his ass off after they fired him, but that's a different combo. But I will tell you, I said this to you a while ago, Wemby's probably taking MVP in the next year or 2.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to get one.
If he can stay healthy, and then I keep thinking, I'm like, he needs to bulk up, but you look at his body frame, he just doesn't have the frame to carry the weight and muscle.
If he bulks up, he's getting
it's going to hurt him. Yeah,
he's gonna.
He's a tone and stretch guy. He's not a start jacking up the weight.
And I gotta be honest, I think as he gets older, it's hard for guys that big and tall.
I don't see him having some 15, 18-year career. I
think it's 10 to 12.
Yeah, whatever career he has is going to be very, very good, but longevity is not. That body frame is not.
The next 4 to 5 years, I think, are going to be tremendous.
It's going to be insane. It's not
tremendous.
Right. I mean, he basically is he's basically Kevin Durant that plays better defense.
Yeah.
Like that's basically, I mean, Kevin Durant was a better outside shooter, but we're not talking a drastic difference between their shooting abilities. So,
but honestly, though, and I'm going to throw this out there, and as great as the other series are, as great as everything is there honestly any team out there right now that's beating the Thunder, though? And that's really the question, is because now the Spurs are going to get beat each other up playing the Nuggets. That's going to be a knockout drag out series. Not that the Lakers probably won't put up a good fight against the Thunder, but I find it hard for the Thunder not getting back to the championship.
It depends on if Doncic plays. He hasn't played most of this series. What's really helping the Lakers is Durant hasn't touched he played 1 game. Like Durant hasn't touched the court other than game 1. And everybody was so hyped. Like, is this the last time we're going to get to see Durant and LeBron play each other in the playoffs and like all that? So that's probably your surprise series. We're looking at the Orlando, number 1 seed in the league, right? Not in just the East. The number 1 seed in the league, Detroit Pistons down 3-1 to Orlando. Do I think they can come back and win the series? Possibly. Do I think they're going to?
No.
because they have to we're game 5, right?
Orlando Magic.
So we're playing game 5 right now in Orlando. Why is it in Orlando? Oh, 2-2-1-1-1-1, right?
No.
Or Detroit has home court.
No, it's 2-1-1-1. Yeah, it's 2-2-1-1-1.
Okay. So 2. No, that's not.
Yeah, because it was 2 in New York. It was
2 in Detroit.
Yep.
2 in Orlando.
Yep.
They're playing game 5. Game 5 should be in Detroit. Why is that math not mathing? I'm so confused right now. Or it's just how they.
I think it might just be.
Maybe it's just how they have it listed. No, I need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Detroit.
It's just how they had it listed.
Just how they
it was just messing with your mind. It was just messing
my
with
brain
you.
can't handle this stuff, people. But all right, so like Detroit, they win this game in Detroit, right? You make it a 3-2 series. You go back to Orlando for game 6. If you manage to win that, you now got to go back to Detroit for game 7, in a game 7 that you probably feel like you shouldn't even be playing in because you probably went into the series thinking you were going to beat this team. Orlando's a tough team. They've got some really good players. Detroit has one really, really good player in Cade Cunningham and some really good pieces around him. I just don't see how they come back from down 3-1. Other teams in this playoffs, I could see that against Orlando. I just don't. And this is Detroit's first time, right? Think back a couple years ago, right, when we talked about OKC. We called it
before the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
like,
we said it.
Yeah, like OKC had the number 1 seed, but they were young and inexperienced. Denver knocked them out in the first or second round.
Mm-hmm.
If Detroit somehow comes out of this, I don't think Cleveland or Toronto really scare them.
I don't think you're getting out of this.
But that's what I mean. I don't think them.
They got to win 3 straight, and right now they haven't won 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah,
I just don't know how.
Happening.
Like, I get it, they're up 10 right now, but even if they win tonight, I think they got the pressure of having to go on the road, and then the pressure of coming home and having to do it. It's a lot to ask of a young team, so I just don't see it happening. I think they get knocked off. I think it's going to be a weird second-round matchup of the Magic versus either the Raptors or the Cavs.
I don't see anybody even wanting to watch that.
No.
Other than Raptors, Cavs, or Magic fan, I don't see anybody wanting to watch that.
That might be one of the worst second-round matchups in the NBA.
There
in the
is
last
nothing that
decade.
appeals to me about that matchup at all, but...
And you got to look at it. Whoever comes out of the probable New York-Boston series is probably getting their ticket to the finals.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like I think I would have said this going into the playoffs if we got in depth in the combo. I think your winner of New York Boston in the second round is going to be your representative from the East. I just don't see any 4 of these teams that are still alive being able to beat either the Knicks or Boston in 7 games. I just don't see it. And Detroit is the only one of those teams that would have home court advantage against them. Right? So if Detroit's gone, that means New York or Boston's going to take home court against any of the other 3 teams that are left that we're talking about. I don't see it happening. So I think we're going to see Boston, New York next round. I think who wins that series is going to be your representative of the Eastern Conference. I don't think either one of them can beat OKC in 7 games. I think either one of them could get Denver a run in 7 games, but probably not beat Denver. And I mean, if Minnesota somehow knocks out Denver, I don't see them winning in the next round. They just don't have the pieces anymore. And you're taught, like I said, from what I saw with Anthony Edwards, he's being evaluated week to week, right? Like we're not talking a day-to-day injury. And DiVincenzo blew his Achilles. He's done for at least 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
So you're without your 6th man, and the earliest you get your superstar back is a week from now. Are you even still playing basketball, right? So, yeah, I think with those injuries, but the thing I will say, the one team OKC doesn't want to play is the Spurs. The Spurs had their number all year long. They won 3 out of their 4 matchups in the regular season. They have had their number all year long. And then the last thing I'm going to say, because the belly's starting to growl.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting hungry.
The last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to preach this till the end of effing time. The NBA needs to do away with conferences.
Hold on, wait. Can I do something real quick?
Sure. Because you've heard me say this, so I know you know where I'm going.
I want you to really preach it. Hang on.
Am I getting the chipmunk voice?
No. Preach it.
All right. Oh, wow, we got an echo. I got to take these off or it's going to make my ears ring. Oh. All right. So I will preach this with my little cowlick popping up till the end of time. The NBA needs to do away with conferences, and they need to go to a tournament-style setup for their playoffs of 1 through 16. Have 1 place 16 and no East or West anymore. The way they do it now is if you're in the same division, in the same conference, you play 4 games. If you're in the same conference but not the same division, you play 3 games. Separate conferences, you play 2. Be done with it. Your closest teams, your rival teams, you play 3 games, you play 2 games against every other team in the league. That's how you can lessen your schedule down to 72 games and make your playoffs a hell of a lot more entertaining than they are now. I've said this for a long time, but instead they're trying to figure out how to make the lottery for the draft more exciting. So now if you make the play-in tournament, you get 3 balls, but if you're one of the worst teams in the league, you only get 2 balls. And like Adam Silver is like literally the worst thing that could have ever happened. Yeah, exactly. You have your mic off, but if you didn't hear Eric, if you know him, you know what he said. But yeah, that like I'm sorry. Like the tanking in the NBA sucks. It's very disappointing, especially for fans that pay their hard-earned money to go to game. Me and you have dove into this really in depth.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm not trying to start that convo again, but we do agree with it, right?
Yep.
If the NBA wants to get their viewership up, and you want to do away with this load management excuse that they have.
But they would need a commitment from the players and the Players Association that this would take care of the load management, though. Because the last thing you want is a 72-game schedule where now they're only playing 62 because they need another 10 of load management. And that's what would scare me is what deal are we really signing? Because fine, you guys want less games, you guys want whatever, we'll give it to you, but you have to play that amount of games or make it so that you have to play. But again, once you shorten it by 10 games already, then it's like that's more than an eighth of the season.
I mean,
that's more than 12.5%. Like that's more than you're getting almost like 15% of the season you're taking out.
Yeah, and right now the rule is you got to play 65 games to qualify for awards and all the accolades and all that. I think you keep that number, right? So 72 game season, you still got to play 65. We're not dropping since we went from 82 to 72. Now we're not going from 65 to 55. 65 games. That is the change that you shouldn't make. But instead, we're focusing on the tanking and the lottery. You're not going to stop teams from tanking.
Never.
So
it's impossible to even try.
Do away with the stupid-ass play-in tournament. Your top 16 teams in the league.
You want to know how you get away?
Do it.
You want to know how you get away with getting away from tanking? Reverse draft order. Team that wins gets the first pick.
Oh man, would that piss a lot of people off? But that would definitely get away with.
You know what? Nobody's trying to lose that.
Nobody's trying to tank it that. Oh my God!
Who's trying to imagine? What? Give me any benefit to tanking on a reverse draft.
Absolutely none. Literally none. Unless you were the only thing I could see teams that want to tank agreeing to that is if you were going to snake it.
No.
So this way,
well, yeah, snake it is fine, but or do this. So take the playoff teams out. So all the teams that don't make the playoffs, flip it. So that the teams that are still trying really hard
to make
the teams that are right on the edge that maybe didn't make the playoffs this year, that missed it because of a tiebreaker, or missed it because not because they sucked and tanked, but missed it because they gave it their all, and 4 tiebreakers later, they lose because they didn't score enough points in the division.
4 or points against.
Exactly.
And they
cost them. You know what? They're getting the first pick. They deserve it more because at least they gave a damn all season long, and they tried to get into the playoffs, and they made it. They didn't just say, screw it, we're starting Jacoby Brissett, and we don't give a damn what happens.
Okay, good job bringing shit full circle. I like that.
So
But I actually don't. I don't dislike that. I actually think that's a pretty good way to go.
It's the first time I thought of it, honestly. It just came to me.
That's Silver's justification for the idea of giving an extra lottery ball to the play-in teams for the play-in tournament to get into the playoffs. It's a slight incentive for that, but not enough. Get rid of the effing lottery.
Or if you do the lottery,
stupid.
Teams that get in to the play-in get 3 balls. Teams that don't get 1. So then now those people get 3 times the chance.
So it's 3 balls for each team that gets into the play-in tournament as they get knocked out. It's 2 balls for the teams that are like in the middle of the bottom 3. Like they're basically saying your bottom couple teams are only going to get 1 ball. They are. That's actually part of his idea.
That's the way it should be.
But just fucking do away with it. The lottery is so backdated.
It is very backdated.
It doesn't make sense anymore.
And they've been, there's been quite a few conspiracies around that.
I mean, the biggest one I know of was Ewing. Everybody, there's so many people that think that it was rigged to make sure Ewing got to New York.
The frozen envelope. The frozen envelope.
Yeah, the Georgetown guy. Whether it happened or not, Ewing was the perfect New York Knick. Right? Other than blowing that finger roll against Indiana, which most Knicks fans will never forget, he was a perfect Knick. You loved him. He had the attitude, the mentality, like Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, right? Like these guys were perfect Knicks, right? That's why Jalen Brunson to me fits so perfectly in New York.
And I love Brunson, but Ewing's my all-time Knick.
Yeah, man, when he would square up against Luke Longley. And I'd watch and I'd be like, get in his face, get in his face, get in his face. He's gonna hit the jumper over you, get in his face. Every time. Right in that little corner, right outside the box, right on the baseline, and just right in that little area, that little wing area. All the time.
And he had that shot that he kind of went back just a little bit, so it was hard, especially for a big guy. Like they weren't getting there to even block it. It was.
I miss the days.
Nice.
Look, I am getting really hungry, but I gotta say, I miss the days of the paint play and the big men, and I miss that, and it's probably one of the main reasons I just am that, and the Bulls ownership are just jackasses. But those are the main reasons I'm just not into basketball the way I used to be. I still love the game, right? The actual game of basketball, I still love. But the commitment and the passion to following it and watching it and tracking stats and all these different things, it's not there anymore because I don't like how the game is played. I just don't. I respect your ability to shoot the ball from 30 feet away and make it at 40% a clip. That's not easy to do. I understand.
Yeah, but now you literally brush past somebody, it's a foul. A million other different little changes they've made that have made it and I get it in ways offensive friendly game, but in other ways it's taken all the physicality out. It's taken all of the paint play out. It's taken all of that where you see teams work inside out. You see different things. Now it's literally the ball, again, bringing more full circle, that Boston mentality of the 3-and-D or the old Warriors mentality of 3-and-D. That's it. Chug it up, and that's what we're living and dying by. And that's unfortunately today's NBA, and it sucks because even a team like the Knicks gets stuck in that. And be honest, Cat's dominating, and yes, he can shoot a 3, but I don't want to see him shoot a 3. I want to see him dominating in the paint. I want to see him. Nobody can touch the guy right now. He should be shooting jumpers in people's faces like Ewing was, and driving to the hole. He should be doing it all. That's what I want to see. I want to see that domination. That was the thing. I was a Ewing fan, Knick fan, but you talk about the old school basketball, I could watch because watching Shaq was an event.
Oh my God.
Domination.
Every time he got the ball, you're like, how are they going to stop?
I will die on this hill for as long as I live. People talk about the greatest of all time. I will flat out say the most dominant player I ever saw was Shaq. The guy who was the most physically dominant person on a court was Shaq, it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. And what's crazy to think about is if he actually cared about taking care of himself physically, right? He ate good and hit the gym and did all those things. If he actually did that, he probably would have went down as the greatest of all time. The man could play. He would run point.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
He was good.
At 7'1" and 320 pounds, and he's running point. And he had a good eye for passing the ball. He could dominate anybody that you put up against him. But he was one of those guys that was like, I am so good, I don't have to do what everybody else does to stay good. It's that simple, right? I mean, even when he left LA and went to Miami, that was his last year where he was considered like a centerpiece to a team. Mm-hmm. It was still Dwayne Wade that led them to that championship as a rookie. Shaq was just his support guy. He was the Robin to Dwayne Wade's Batman when he went to Miami thinking he still could dominate. He was done. But if he took care of himself, he probably had 2-3 more. He probably could have got 2 or 3 rings with Wade if he took care of himself. But we'll never know, right? But I won't argue with that. I never watched a man play the game of basketball and the guy guarding him, even though they were a grown-ass man, you could literally see fear in their eyes when he got the ball in the post.
Literally, all you could do is, and when you have to, when they create defenses just for you, and the only defense is to hack you. The hack-a-shack was the
Shout out to Greg Popovich.
The only thing that could even try to stop you, and that was it. Like, and it was just because he struggled to shoot free throws. But even that didn't stop him from picking up 30 or 40 points a game. Like, that didn't stop him from still dominating and
yeah.
Those were the most fun matchups. I'll be honest. Like growing up, like I am watching basketball years ago. The Tim Duncan and Shaq matchups, like those Spurs Lakers matchups, were some great matchups.
I used to love watching him and Hakeem go against each other. Him and Dikembe go against each other. Him and Ewing's games were too different, so they didn't battle the same way. But like watching Shaq try to stop the dream shake right from Hakeem, and then the next go watching Hakeem trying to stop Shaq from just backing him into the like. That's what I mean. Like I miss because now it's just swing, 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 shoot. Right, whoever's open, swing, 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 shoot. Right, that's all it is. Back then it was like, yo, I'm gonna throw it to you, and if they play 1-on-1. Own that man. If they double you, kick it out, and I got you. Right? Yeah. Like there was a like, and
it was
and
an
you could
inside out game. Now
still
it's an outside in. Now everything is outside.
Yeah, like there was a time when basketball was called a man's game. Basketball hasn't been called a man's game in 15 years almost.
No, I can't remember. I'll be honest. I would if you could have gave me a list of things you called basketball, I wouldn't have. Came up with that.
I remember that was a '90s phrase. That was a '90s phrase, right? Like
so was
late
chicks
80s.
Dig the long ball. So, but,
that one still holds true.
They do.
That still holds true. But
they do.
All right, my man. Before my stomach starts to eat the mic,
let's tell them then where they can find you.
David Hastings 23 on X, formerly known as Twitter, and D Hastings 23 on that Instagram. And don't worry about finding me on LinkedIn because I probably won't see it ever. So, but that's me. That's where you can find me. Married man now. Yeah, I got the ring and everything. Crazy. So weird wearing this thing.
Giants' favorite draft.
All right, TJ, who's your mama?
You find me at The Living Legend on X. You can find us at ChampsCast. That's Champs with a Z, throwing back to Sports Zone Heritage we talked about earlier. You can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Find us. Do all that free fun
things.
stuff.
Like follow,
subscribe, share. Do all those free fun things. Follow my dog, too, at Louis Aussie Dude, our unofficial third co-host, who we locked downstairs tonight because he was just too crazy. And, yeah. Till next time, my friend. Oh, wait, no. That might have been a good thing you didn't talk there. I think you would have been a chipmunk instead of music.
I mean, we had my echoing voice. I mean, a chipmunk wouldn't have been a bad way to play it. But until next week, we appreciate y'all. We didn't get the baseball.
Let's go Yankees, by the way. I'm going to shout that out. Let's go Yankees.
I'm just going to
They're
continue.
killing it. So I didn't want to brag. I didn't want to get
Thoughts
in here
and prayers to our boy Mike.
and all the Mets fans out there.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry.
Carl Sr.
It's not fun being a Mets fan right now. Thankfully, baseball doesn't impact my life, so I'm good. Boom. See y'all next week.